Hey guys, today I'll be teaching you guys how to divide and multiply, add and subtract with both decimals and fractions. Just so you guys are aware, these decimals were converted to the fractions in the column in the second row of the same column. So first we will begin with 75 100ths plus 125 1,000ths. And just to make this whole lesson sound more fluid, I would just say 0.75 and 0.125, even though that's incorrect terms. That is what you will be saying in high school. I can promise you that. So, first step is to make sure you align your decimals. So as we've seen, the ones place is with the ones, the tenths place is with the tenths place, the hundredths place is with the hundredths place, and the thousandths place is with the thousandths place. Because there's no number over here, you're just gonna add a 0, just so you're able to visualize this better. So 0 plus 5, that's 5. 5 plus 2, that is 7. And then 7 plus 1, that is 8. And then move down your decimal. So your answer is 0.875 or 875 1,000ths. Moving on to the fractions side. Our first step is to have a common denominator. Whenever you add or subtract, you must have a common denominator in order to properly visualize this. So I know I can get from 4 to 8 if I were to multiply this whole thing by 2. So 4 times 2, that equals 8. 3 times 2, that equals 6. Plus 1 8. Then I get 7 8 as my answer. These match up, so that's correct. Now moving on to subtracting. Yeah, 1.5 minus 0.5. Again, align your decimals. The ones place, you can just add a 0 if you want. The tenths place, here's a digit here. You have a digit here. Now you subtract 5 minus 5. That's 0. Move down your decimal, and then 1 minus 0. That's 1. So our answer should be 1. And luckily for us, our denominators are the same, so I can subtract straight across without any additional steps. So I know my answer here is 2, and then 3 minus 1, that is 2. And I can simplify this into 1 by dividing both sides by 2. Now I'm multiplying with decimals. So I'll begin with the ones place. So 5 times 0, that's 0. 5 times 8, that's 40. Now I'm tenths place. Because I'm in tens place, I'll just add a 0 on the bottom. And now I'll just repeat the same process. So 2 times 0, that's 0. 2 times 8, that is 16. Add these together. 0, 0, 0, 1, that's 2. And guys, keep in mind, because we have 4 numbers, well, 4 non-zero numbers behind the decimal, that means there will be three numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3. So our answer should be 2. After that, we will do. I'm sorry, because we have 4 numbers, we will now have our answer should be 0.2. So moving on to the fractions. Now you can multiply straight across. However, some people aren't able to know. Some people don't know what 8 times 50 is and 10 times 200 is right away. So instead of knowing that this is 400 over 2,000, you can just simplify these, or rather reduce these numbers into smaller looking fractions. So if I divide both these by 2, I get 4/5. If I divide both these by 50, I get 1 over 4. So now I can multiply straight across, and that gives me 4/20. Make sure I reduce, divide both by 4, and that gets me 1/5. And 0.2 is 1/5, so we are good. And you guys just clarify on when multiply to decimals. because I had a 5 on my hundreds place, and I was forced to put a 0 on top on the other hundreds place on the 0.8. That made me have 4 numbers behind the decimal, or four digits behind the decimal. Now, if I had 2 zeros, if I added another 2 zeros, and let's say that were a problem, I am able to cross off these 2 zeros because they're in the same place value. So I can disregard these 2 and just look at these 4 right here. So now we would divide decimals, and I don't believe that students are taught how to divide decimals. Therefore, you typically use a calculator. You either just know it off the top of your head, or you can convert these into fractions. So I'll just convert these into fractions. If I have 0.6, I know that it's 6/10. And then add 25.25, and that I know is 25 100ths. Or 1/4, it doesn't really matter. And once again, a tune that my teacher came up with is when you divide, you flip-flop and multiply on the second number. So when you divide, you flip-flop and multiply. Now, because these are fairly large numbers, you can reduce these. So when you divide both these by 2, you get 2/5. Divide both these by 25, you get 4/1. Now when I begin multiplying, I get 2 times 4, that equals 8. 5 times 1, that equals 5. Therefore, our answer should be 8/5. And just to give out a proper term of what I have been doing, you will be reciprocating the second number.